Hi there, my name is Andy Little. I am in accounts and onboarding with Paramediq. This is what our EMS billing software within Paramediq looks like. If you think about the life of a call from being dispatched to being worked in the field by your crew and submitted, validated for state requirements, and of course billed out to insurance, all of this is going to be able to occur within Paramediq, basically a one-stop solution for the entire process. Of course, billing is one of the most important parts of the life of a call. So with that, I have logged into EMS Billing. This software is built off of our 30 plus years in the medical billing field and tailored specifically for EMS and fire. From the reporting system, you'll be able to automatically import any calls that are ready to be billed. That can happen either automatically or manually. That can happen on an individual patient basis or in batches. To show you a bit of that, all we're going to do is go to this report section at the top. And in my case, I have it set up to go automatic, so I can go to automatic EMS import status. From here, all I have to do is make sure that I am referencing the date range I want to see, and it's going to show me anything that has pulled in within that date range. One thing that we really tried to focus on in the development of this software is to make sure that you have on face value and quickly and easily a way to get a context of what you need to work in the moment. So for example, this is not just showing me the incidents that I have pulled into my system, but it's also showing me where I'm at in terms of the aging of these particular incidents. So for example, I can see, have we made a claim for any of these incidents that were imported? And if we were paid, what date that payment was posted. So I'm really quickly and easily able to see, okay, these ones need claims made. Let's go ahead and bring them open. And I can either, if I want to, just click on them from here and bring them open, or I can pull up my list and pull up any incident that I want to take a look at. So for example, we'll go into this file here. This is what your file looks like. It's broken down into patients that get their own account. And then within that patient, you have an incident tab that's going to list any individual incident. And I can, if I had multiple, we would see them listed here. I just click on which one I want to look at. From there, we have a PCR tab. All of the data that you see here has been automatically imported from the report itself, all the way down to the narrative. If I click on this narrative hyperlink, it's going to show me the entire narrative within that call so that I can make sure that all of my billing adds up and has everything consistent within the call. We have an insurance tab. Within here, you'll notice there's several spots that have buttons with 3 dots or this ellipsis. That just represents the ability to access that particular database. And you can, of course, add, edit, remove, modify, whatever you need in here. One thing we really wanted to make sure is possible is that you have full control over the data you have within your system and that it comes in automatically and easily, as I mentioned. If we go to the diagnosis screen, very similar. I can go ahead and punch in whatever diagnoses I need for this claim. We have access to the entire ICD-10 library present within here. The system, however, will come with most of the commons that we see in the EMS billing industry. But from there, if you need to add those odds and ends, you absolutely can. An attorney section if necessary, and we also have an insurance form screen. As you may know, on the billing side of things, not every insurance company is the same, so this allows you to update little specifics for this particular patient without having to change around the settings of the software itself in terms of your default billing structure. Beyond that, we also have options for your pickup and drop-off address, of course. One thing that I like is you can actually go in here and control the modifiers. So if those were inputted incorrectly on the report for some reason, or if you need to update them to something else after it's been imported, you still can. What I like too is when you have these modifiers in here, that feeds into your posting. So as you post HCPCS codes, which I'll show you in a moment, those modifiers will automatically be posted in there based off of the selections here. From here, we have a custom tab, and this is really your playground to collect any other information that you deem necessary. So if you have odds and ends specific to your agency that you want to make sure you can collect in here, you can actually change the names of these fields to whatever it may be, and you can run reports to track this information later. So we try to, again, give you as much control, give you options that are going to help you collect those things that are specific to your agency, as everyone's a little bit unique, and we can make sure that it's tailored for that. So that's a breakdown just of the patient file. If we look at the top, it's going to show you your incident number. You can bill for multiple agencies as well as facilities. So in our case, it's telling us this is, the agency that we're looking at for this patient. And we have incident type. Now, incident type is really just, if you want to think of it as your category of patients or claims, the program does come by default with different insurance types like private insurance, Medicare, are they cash, are they self-pay, what have you. But that's not to say you have to follow follow this structure. You can actually go in here and choose however you want to qualify your patients into different types. And that just helps you with filtering claims. It helps you with different reports in terms of categorization of those patients and getting the numbers you need. If you look over to the left in the patient file, these are things that you can do with the patient. So for example, if I set up an alert in here, I can just hit add and type whatever I want. Whenever I open this file, that alert's going to pop up and let me know that pertinent information. Notes is very similar. It's just not an alert. It's just any internal notes that you want to input for the file. The header is going to be an overview of where this patient is in the here and now. Think of it as just a summary. It's going to show us what their monthly and yearly charges are, payments and adjustments, their current balance, any of their aging, as well as when their last charges and statements are made. So this is just kind of a summary. From here, we have the ledger, which is where you're going to be posting your charges, posting payments, etc. You also have the ability to generate statements and claims for this particular patient in this file. And that's not to say that you can only individually generate statements and claims. You can also, of course, generate batches of statements for entire groups of patients at once, or you can, of course, generate a batch of claims. Our system is going to allow you to generate all the different claim types you need, paper, electronic, and submit directly in an integrated fashion to any of your clearinghouses. So it works with everybody in any format. The billing history is exactly what you'd expect based on the name. It is just a summary of the patient files, claims that we've generated, when it was made, when it's been paid, and kind of just gives you an idea on a patient level of what we need to work at the time. So for example, I'm just going to make a really quick paper claim. And I've generated that. It's printing out in my printer right now. Now, if I go back to the billing history, it's going to show me, okay, on this date, I made a claim. Here's what the date of service was for. Here's the payer. It was primary. And, what are we waiting on now and the date? So as you generate claims, it gives you a whole history. Now, again, in line with being able to do things on an individual level or a batch level, this is just the per patient billing history, but there is a claims filing cabinet. I can select at the top here, and it's going to go ahead and bring up any and all claims I have generated within the date range that I've inputted at the top. So again, you can keep track of all of this at an agency level, facility level, patient level as needed. If I go into the ledger, here's how posting works. A couple things about the ledger. We have the ability to support, of course, multiple fee sets or fee schedules. So if different payers pay different ways, you can assign a patient to whatever set of codes that is, and it's going to post based off of that. If we look at the top, there's again a summary to keep you oriented on the file that you're looking at. We have a transaction history in the middle. This is everything that's been posted. If I need to edit anything within this, I go ahead and click edit posting at the top here. And any of my new transactions I'm going to be posting are coming from the bottom. So I can either type in a quick code, any quick code that I designate here. So if I just wanted to punch in AO426, it's going to bring it up like that. As an alternative, if I don't have all this stuff memorized, I can just go into my fee schedule button here, and it's going to go ahead and present me a list of all of my different codes that I could select and post as needed. The system, again, comes with all of the commons that we tend to see in EMS billing, but you have complete control to add, remove things. So usually all you have to do once you're set up is come in here and put in your fees in terms of the charges, but you don't have to key in everything in the descriptions manually yourself. When you're ready to go ahead and save your charge, we just save. It's going to apply it to this line. And you can see my balance is updated. In terms of posting payments, we have a lot of different ways actually to post payments. Again, as everyone's different, we try to make sure that we have tools to supplement how your system is going to work. On a basic level, I can click on this little cash register at the top, choose what type of check it is. Maybe this patient's just paying cash today. We'll just put all the balance in here and hit OK. From there, I can go ahead and save it. Now that's a really basic instance, but for example, we do have the ability to post on a line item basis. Maybe you have a check that came from an insurance company that has several patients on it. We can go into this line item posting area, put what the total check amount is, bring up our patient information, and it's going to show me everything and anything within this patient's ledger here. And I can go on a line by line basis and say what we're adjusting off, if anything, what the primary paid, if anything, what the secondary paid, if applicable, what the patient's responsibility is, and so on. So line by line, go ahead and post that, click apply, and then you can move on to the next patient until the remaining amount of that check is sitting at 0. We hit record and close, and that's posted to all of your files. So there's a lot of different ways. That's only 2 of the many ways you can actually post in here. One thing I wanted to touch on is our integrated billing system. EMS Billing under Paramediq is able to integrate with any of your clearinghouses. There's a brief setup, which our technicians can actually assist with. You will have 24/7, 365-day-a-year support. So all we have to do is gather some information from your clearinghouse, fill out that screen, and that's it. From there, you are able to bill out claims automatically without having to leave the software in batches or individually. You're able to also, if your clearinghouse supports this, pull in ERAs and post automatically based off of those ERAs. So in this instance, if I go to integrated billing and electronic billing, that's going to bring up my batch menu. If I want to, I can filter it by incident types. So however I define my patients, I can filter them based off of that and just generate a list of them. In my case, I'm just going to say, give me everybody that's ready to bill. Being on a demonstration account, I just have the one patient. But you would see a list of all of your patients that are ready to go. I can, from here, clean up the list if I need to, take some people out that I want to bill later or whatever. And then all I do is click next and click submit. These settings will all be saved based on your defaults. If the situation calls for it, you can of course update these in the moment. But once we hit submit, that is going to then and there create a claim and submit it to your clearinghouse for processing. To that point, this is all really just an overview to show you the general features of the EMS billing system. It is again going to be able to automatically import data from your calls, saving you time inputting data yourself. You're going to be able to generate batches of claims, individual claims, pull in ERAs. And on top of all this, to supplement this, there are so many different financial reports, statistical reports that you can run based off of, for example, who's paying what HIC picks and when, payment reports, specific transaction reports, sales tax reports, aging. You can run custom reports that will allow you to pull different types of patients that, we've worked within whatever time frame I want. There is a lot in here, so I can only really scratch the surface on this general overview. Please feel free to reach out to us. We can set up a personal demonstration of this and all the other components within Paramediq, cover some specific use cases to your agency, and make sure that it's something that's going to be working, valuable, and viable for you. Our concern and our main priority with all of this is to speed up the way that you work, make your job more efficient, allow you to keep active and accurate track of your payments, your claims, and everything that needs to be worked within the EMS billing structure. And to that, please don't hesitate to reach out if you have any questions. We are excited to speak with you here at Paramediq, and otherwise, I thank you for your time.